Capricorn. I don't know what kind of reading this is, but I have, actually, I'm going to wear that. You're right. I haven't worn that for a while. I'm being asked to use the Animal Spirit deck, which I don't often use. I've had it for like a long time, like years and years and years I've had this deck, but I don't use it very often because it's a very powerful deck and it's like ancient spirits that I'm usually not even allowed to shuffle it. I have to manually pick them out. So let's like see what happens here. I'm getting mixed messages, but they don't usually like to fly out. Oh, but they did. Oof. Look at that. So that's spider. Oh man, I really hope you can actually like see the deeds. These are drawings that somebody did, and they just blow my mind away. How beautiful they are. Okay, we got the frog. That's spider, right? Yeah, frog, spider, and caribou. Hey, caribou. That's a really good Pixies song. I'm going to have to put that back on my... Okay, circle of life and rebirth with abundance. And then frog is feminine energy creation. So there's some type of old cycle that is has come to an end, and you are going into something new. Feminine energy. So the frog rules most in the moon. So it really is just associated with feminine energy, right? Because it's all about water. The frog lives in water, right? So the whole point of the water spectrum is that you're, feminine energy is like emotion and it's like stirring the pot, right? It's like you could be having a baby, could be getting pregnant, or like your wife is going to get pregnant or your girlfriend's going to get pregnant. It could also be a rebirth. Okay, wait, I haven't read spider. Let's see. Spider is kind of ruling. There's protection, aid, and wisdom here. Spiders are found throughout the world and appear in legends as nearly all peoples. They are frequently depicted as helpers, protectors, and creators. The Ojibwa people hung hoops of spider webs over their infants to protect them from harmful influences. Yeah, that would be a dream catcher. I always had a dream catcher growing up. Other Native American, particularly those of the Southwest, associate the spider with the grandmother spirit who lives underground. The spider grandmother is a source of wisdom and a link to the underworld. She rises from her realm to offer advice, particularly before the dangerous or large undertaking. So, okay, so I'm not sure if maybe your grandmother is dead. But maybe somebody's grandmother is here, okay? And this is like a lot of freaking feminine. Sometimes the twang in my voice is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's like the feminine energy is like taking over this reading, and like I really don't know what she wants to say to you. Really? All right. We're going to use the Death Tarot here. Macabre. Someone's like grandmother. Or it's saying like you're protected right now. What's this caribou? From lies to grounding. Yes. Okay. So the cycle that you might have just closed out involved a lot of lies, maybe a lot of lying to yourself. And you're now like cycling, lying to yourself out. What's this grandmother? Whose grandmother's here? What did I freaking tell you? Death. She's dead. She's dead. Okay, that's the death moth. Which also indicates transformation. Transition. From the caterpillar to the moth. This is my favorite card in the whole deck. The illustration is just like, it just draws me in. I don't know why, but oh my God, it's my favorite card in the whole deck. Which maybe you were their favorite grandchild. That's what I'm getting big time. Like maybe you might have been like grandma's boy or something like that. Grandma's girl. You're just always with grandmother. And now grandmother, she's standing up for you in death. Okay. Because there's something, it's almost like you can't see this with your eyes. You have to sense it. You have to sense that if you don't make this change and allow this change to come in, it's like she's protecting you from getting hurt right now. Something wants to hurt you. And that's why the cycle has to be done with, okay? Like you lying to yourself is hurting you. So now, because something's been lying to you, because you've been lying to yourself, you have to use your senses now, because you're not allowing yourself to see it. So now your eyes get taken away from you, and now you have to sense it, okay? Because your eyes are fooling you, your eyes are tricking you. And that's what has to change, is how you're seeing something, okay? Is anybody can lie to themselves in any situation to make themselves feel better. Obviously, it's a natural thing. But if you truly want to connect with yourself, and if you truly want to grow something from the ground up, from your heart, then you have to rebirth yourself. And you have to allow this transition to come in, knowing that you're completely protected. Nothing's going to happen to you. Okay. God willing, and she's watching, right? Then nothing's going to happen to you. So this feminine energy is like trying to, set you in the right direction, okay? Which is 5 of crystals. That's 5 of crystals in reverse. So this doesn't have anything to do with money, okay? Maybe the way that you see money now in the future might change, right? Like all of a sudden I'm putting in like, oh man, my sister and I over the last like month have put in $1,500 or something like that, almost $2,000 into our car, because why wouldn't we? Like I had this money, and I'm like used to saving all my money. Like this little tiny bit of money is going to change my life. And it's fucking not. It's just good to have some money there if you don't have credit, obviously, right? So then we realized that we can probably get our car safetied, and we can probably, so we got an inspection on it, and we got all this stuff done. And I'm like, well, you know what? If we've got the money, then why not put the money into the vehicle? Like everybody always says, why would you want to do that? Why wouldn't you just buy a new car? Just buy a new car. And it's like, do you know how much a new car costs? Why the fuck would I want to do that? When, yeah, okay, this one's 10 years old. It's going to cost like probably $3,000 to get back on the road. If I go and buy a different car, it's going to cost me $5,000 to $6,000. Then I got to safety it. Then I got to get to know it when I know this car. I haven't put money into this car for years. So why not? You're supposed to put $1,000 into your car a year. I haven't put $1,000 into this car, since my sister and I started sharing it, like, because my car was toast. I had to get rid of it. I couldn't fix it anymore. I couldn't see putting money into my own car, so I got rid of it. But this car is a fucking gem. Why not fix it, right? So it's like maybe your perception of money is going to change, and that's what she's helping you see, right? Like you might have more than what you think you do. Like most people, they can't survive without their next paycheck. right? Credit or no credit, they have no money. Most people have no money, even if it looks like they do. They're just riding credit. They ain't, like, their paychecks are gone before they even get there. Okay. So this is more passion. Okay. This is not money driven. This is more passion driven. This is more seeing inside of something. Okay. It's like seeing inside of yourself. Okay. Like maybe someone thinks a lot of things are about money and they're not. Ooh, I've never even seen this card before. Look at that. There's the Hangman. Okay, but it was in reverse. So somebody is definitely getting out of something, and it's by a feminine energy. Okay, it's obviously by this grandmother. She's helping somebody get out of something. Okay, because you've been hanging in something for way too long. There's the Sun. And it's like almost like maybe you don't want to think that happiness is possible because you've just been stuck in one type of mode of going from one thing to another, to the next, to the next. It's like daily routines have kind of taken over somebody, and that's what they're hanging in, right? But now they're realizing there's no friendship around them. Okay, there's no, this king does not match this queen. Okay, so maybe there's a feminine energy around you and it's just not matching your frequency anymore. Right. And the day-to-day routine is getting old, you know, like you're not seeing something, like it doesn't have to be so blah anymore. Right. That someone's asking you to, like, you know, in any relationship, I mean, y'all got to be friends. In the end of the day, like, because you're spending all of your time together, right? Like, I don't have any friends at work, and I'm never probably going to make friends at work because they're all like massively younger than me and we just don't have anything in common. So my boss, I work by myself. I'm not trying to make friends at my work. You know, I'm trying to make money. There's a difference, right? And in this situation, it's like in your home life, if your partner is not your friend and you've just been hanging out because you're more or less set in this like routine more than anything, it's kind of like the world is kind of like, you know what, your grandmother is like really asking you to see something, like, is money worth it, right? Like maybe maybe this next, if you decide to do something, right? Like my buddy just, like, actually he didn't leave his wife left him. Right. And the way that she's going about it is, okay, yeah, they've been together for 20 years, but if she keeps at this, there's no way he's going to have to pay her alimony. She's sleeping with somebody else already. So, like, I don't know if maybe this has something to do with that. Like, you don't want to leave them because you don't want to have to pay for something. Like, you don't want to have to pay for them to live, like spousal support or something like that. But the world is like, yo, you got to give that up, because I mean, my father, because he had to pay child support, hated my sister and I. Hated us. He couldn't stand spending money in our vicinity because he had to pay my mother. And what he didn't understand was that money was for my sister and I. It wasn't for her. And yes, she was an awful mother. She didn't look after us. She didn't do what she was supposed to do. But we did have blankets. We did have clothes. We did have new boots. We did have, jackets. We had what we needed to survive. So I'm thankful at least that she fucking did that and didn't drink our money away, because she didn't, right? And then my stepfather, who's a fucking pedophile, by the way, buys her this convertible way back in the day. It wasn't even an expensive car. It was a Nissan. Okay, get over it. My fucking father got so angry because he was like, she's using my money to buy a convertible. And my mom's like, yeah, I took your $500 a month and I went out and bought myself a convertible. You fucking loser. Like, it was him. It was my stepfather who bought it for her. It had nothing to do with her. And we heard about it for 10 years straight, about how your mother's driving around in that convertible. And then years later, I was at work and I had a Sirius radio at the time. Be very careful with those. Okay. They're like the plug-in kind or whatever back in the day when they first came out. Okay. And like, I was like 21 maybe. So like 16 years ago or something like that. And I left it plugged in, obviously, because I didn't know that you had to unplug them, and it caught my car on fire. Okay, and I was driving this black PT Cruiser at the time, and the whole dashboard lit up, like, while I was fucking working. Okay, I came out to a car that had just burnt down. in the parking lot in front of my work. And because all the windows were up, it was like an electrical fire. So it didn't actually start flames. It just melted the entire console. Okay. So then I had to go buy another car. Within 3 days, my insurance gave me a rental car for 3 days with a fucking full-time job. Okay. And I didn't even live in the same town. So I wasn't even close to my work. Okay. So I had 3 fucking days to find a car. So this little guy at work finds me this convertible PT Cruiser, and it was the same color as my ex-boyfriend's car at the time, and I couldn't fucking believe it was an orange car. And I thought to myself, you know what, that's the only car that was available. Okay, honestly, I was looking day and night trying to find another fucking car. This was the only car that was around that was within my price range that I could go and pick up myself and get, because he had it safety and all ready to go. Like, I couldn't believe it. So I bought it, and my stepmother cursed me the second I drove up in that driveway. One, she was like, your insurance is going to be more. My insurance was actually cheaper because convertibles are built more sturdy to, account for not having a roof. So actually I was doing myself better by buying a convertible because they were actually more safe. And every year something broke with that car, every fucking year. And it was almost, it got to the point where I knew that she was only angry with me because it was pulling up scars from my mother having a convertible that she didn't even buy. Right? So when people see something on the outside and the way that it tweaks them and irks them and gets them going because they didn't get to have something is so fucking stupid. Okay? It's absolutely ridiculous the way that some energies can come in and just start to attack you because of something that was absolutely beyond your control. Okay? Beyond your control. So I don't know why, I had an actual, reason why I told that story. Maybe the reason I already said, I don't even know. I just blacked out. I don't even know what I was even freaking talking about. That was really weird. I don't like to talk about that car because of the way that I was treated because of that car. And, it's all about, I was going to say birth control. You should probably go on that. It was all about alimony and support, child support. He was still so angry with having to pay my mother child support while she had a convertible. Okay. Doesn't matter what you're driving. You still have to pay for your children. He was always so angry with us. He'd see that car, he'd get angry. He had to spend that check every month. He had to send it to my mother. He would get angry instantly. And it was that money was food for us. It kept us afloat. So whatever this is with money that you don't want to spend, it's if you let it go that sour, it took, because of his sourness towards the situation as I was a kid, it came and stemmed into my adulthood. So if you use something against your spouse because you have to pay for your kid, or you have to pay for your spouse, it's always remember that your money, you're the one that was stupid enough to do it to begin with. So you have to pay for and those are consequences for your actions, right? If you don't want to have to pay for anything, then take the easy way out. Go ahead, stay in the relationship and keep it cheap. But if you want to live, and you want to get out of it because you're in a shitty situation, then yeah, this is definitely somebody's judgment, okay? Where the fucking horn is going off. Really, are you really going to let something like money hold you back from getting away from something that's hurting you? Look at the Ace of Swords again in reverse. Honestly, with this Nightmare of Daggers in reverse, if somebody doesn't start, okay, telling the truth, okay, because it stems with this 5 of Daggers as well, okay? If this person doesn't start to tell the truth, it's going to unravel in everything they do. It already is. That's why this grandmother spirit, wherever she is or whoever she is to you, okay, she knows you're getting nowhere. Okay, you're not getting anywhere with this. And that's why the tower has to come down. Because there's cracks in the foundation, right? And it has to be fixed. And unless you're going to fix the entire fucking house, it's going to come down. It's just a matter of time. So I think that's what your grandmother's saying is you've got to get this train on the tracks and moving again, because this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with somebody that you're not even on the same page with anymore is hurting you, because there's absolutely no friendship there. And if you can't see that, right, and dig deeper into it, then these bells that are going off in your head right now trying to tell you to go, you have to get out of this, you can't stay in this anymore, eventually your grandmother's going to give up. And she's going to be like, well, he doesn't listen to me, or she doesn't listen to me. She keeps getting told to do something. He keeps getting told to do something. He's not listening. So now she just is going to have to stand there and do more work for you by defending you, because you won't see what's right in front of you. Right? So there's this message of bones, or massacre of bones. It's like, listen to your inner self. Okay, that's the Empress with the Massacre of Bones, which is the King of Wands. Okay, you have to listen to yourself right now. Like, you're getting a lot of information, okay? And you can see into it. I think it's because it's so unknown. And that's the best time to make decisions. Honestly, is when you don't really know how it's going to end, but you know you have to do something. As soon as you get that, okay, this is what I'm going to do it, all right? Because you have to see into the unknown. That's the whole point of it. You have to trust yourself, right? That's really the only way that you can do this. And as long as you trust yourself, there's no reason for this not to work out. Right? Because you're getting divine wisdom to do it anyways. So whatever you're hanging in, the universe is like, man, you've got to make a choice. You know, you have to decide, because if you can't see it, there's only, like, with spirit is not all up in your face. Okay. Like, they're very subtle, right? And when they tell you something, they're not screaming at you. They're going to say it very softly. Like, there's a problem. You have to leave. If you elevate this, it's going to go in the wrong way, which means it's going to get you in trouble again. Okay? Because this queen, it's like someone's all about themselves. Okay? Someone's really self-absorbed while the other one really wants to give. And that's what narcissists do. They're self-absorbed. They want to take. Right? Take. And instead of fixing the situation, they just end up taking more. Okay. And it's like almost like somebody just doesn't know how to feel, you know, about it. They don't know that somebody could be like this and just take and not love back, because it's lovers in reverse. It's not a very good combination. It's this person might have like multiple personalities or something, and like there's a dark side to them and there's a very light side to them. So sometimes maybe you don't know which one to fight. So then you just end up lying to yourself and you take the fall for it, even though it's them. So I almost see like a relationship where you know someone's doing something purposely, but because you can't say anything to them because they're absolutely unapproachable altogether, they won't take responsibility for anything. You've got to take responsibility for it. And eventually that's going to wear on you, because then you're going to start taking responsibility for things that this person is doing. And while you're still doing the right thing for your position as well. So now you're playing two roles and you're in the body of one. Eventually, like, no wonder your grandmother is extremely worried about you, because you're, by playing two roles like this and just allowing somebody to just skim under the surface, is ridiculous. It reminds me a lot of my father and my stepmother, you know, like she, you know, it comes down to like, my father told me this one time, like Cindy will, if they go get donuts, right, you know, Boston creams, he'll be like waiting in the car or something, and he'll say to her, like, make sure you don't crush my donut. Like, make sure you don't crush my donut. And every time she like goes and she puts it in her pocket, and then she gives it to him, and then all the chocolate's all over the top of the bag. And he'll be like, well, what'd you do that for? Like, you know, I told you to just hand it to me and like walk with it. And she'd be like, well, they did it. It's like, well, no, Tim Hortons didn't do it, or the fucking donut shop didn't do it. You put it in your pocket and you crushed it. Why are you just gonna blame it on somebody else? Like, she does shit like that. And like, now I know where I used to get that kind of, you know, personality trait from, is because of her. She couldn't take responsibility for anything. Like I mean, honestly, like she blamed so many things that she did on a regular basis on me. She blamed shit on my sister. She blamed shit on the dog. She blamed shit on everybody. She could never take responsibility for anything. And it's really sad because even hearing my dad describe it to me when I was speaking to him years ago, I still wanted to say, like, can't you see the problem there? Or you do see the problem, but you won't say anything because it's your wife? Like, isn't that the reason why you should say something? Because it is your wife? Like, don't you love her enough to be like, honey, you gotta get your shit together? Like, you gotta admit when you're wrong? Like, that's a good thing to do, is to call people out on what they're doing, because then they're just gonna keep doing it and doing it and doing it. If you don't call them out on it, you don't really care about it. You just want to walk away from it and you don't want to deal with it. Right? And your grandmother's like, I don't know if that's like the kind of personality that you're person that you're dealing with right now. Is like, they won't deal with their own personal self, so they're kind of putting it onto you. I don't know, I can't tell, but she seems to be a little bit upset with you. Not upset in a bad way, but upset in a way that she knows that your safety is at stake. So she's trying to get this wisdom into you so then you make the right moves. So anyways, peace out. I gotta go to work for the afternoon, and then I might come home and do another reading. It just depends what time I get out of there, and if I want to do a reading when I get home, which I'm most likely going to want to. So, ooh, what's that? Is that the butterfly? Transformation, rebirth. Look at, there's another one that just stood out that was like, please just read me for 1 second. This is for sure somebody's rebirth. Okay. Like you've got this in the bag. Okay. That's why it's the child wrapped up, like the baby in the womb, you know, like you are ready to do this. And now it's almost like, you know, your body and your soul is telling you that you're ready for the next challenge. You know, you're ready to be upgraded. You're ready to be leveled up, right? And you're ready for this rebirth to come in and change you from lying to yourself to telling yourself the truth from now on, right? Because anybody can lie to themselves, and you're simply just trying to make yourself feel better about something, and everybody understands that. But it's only going to come knocking at your door for so long until it goes, okay, so I'm just going to have to stop talking, and I'm just going to have to start protecting because they're not listening, right? Listen to your grandmother, please. And that's it. Thanks very much. I really enjoyed this reading. This was really good. This was like bringing up literally somebody's dead grandma. Like, hi, Grandma. Personal readings, whitneymoonshine@gmail.com. If not, just enjoy the channel. It's an amazing channel. It's growing. We're almost YouTube partners, obviously. Hopefully they pass my channel as a YouTube partner. So we're almost there, one step closer to the edge, and then we're going to fly off. You know what I mean? So thanks for everything. Thanks for the comments and the subscribes and everything. Word to your mothers.